The spa town of Baden Baden is located on the northwestern edge of the Black Forest in the state of Baden-Württemberg. Baden Baden is part of the transnational serial nomination of the Great Spas of Europe. Our city is an unrivaled example of a German gambling spa town and was one of Europe's most fashionable spa towns in the 19th century. They called it summer capital of Europe. All development phases have been preserved in the city's physical structure, but the 19th century is predominant. My name is Lisa Poetschki. I'm head of the Department of World Heritage Nomination and Urban Design.
My name is Smriti Pant. I am a research associate in Lisa's department. And today we will take you on a journey through thermal architecture in Baden Baden.
We are standing here on the terrace of the new palace. As you can see, the town is situated below craggy and wooded mountains lying in the valley of the River Ouse.
In fact, with 7,400 hectares of woodland, the town of Baden-Baden is the largest German forest owner. The old town lies on the slopes of the Florentine Hill on the right bank of the Ouse River. On the other hand, the new spa quarter is clearly segregated as a spa ensemble which dates to the 19th century and lies on the opposite side of the river. We are currently at the Market Square in Baden-Baden. On top of the hill stands the new palace, the former residence of the Margraves of Baden. And it is from the slopes of this hill that the 12 thermal water springs originate.
The use of thermal water in Baden-Baden dates back to Roman times. In the 2nd century, Roman garnisons came to Baden-Baden and founded a settlement, which was named Aquae. This name can be translated to bath, which gives a hint on the special hot springs. There are remains of the Roman bathing facilities here under this marketplace. Remains of the soldiers' baths with sophisticated heating and water technology are still located below the Friedrichsbad. The ruins were rediscovered in 1847. Today, the site is a museum.
In the Middle Ages, the qualities of the thermal springs of Baden-Baden were rediscovered. The very first German language non-medical spa guide, published in 1480 by Hans Volz, mentioned the baths of Baden-Baden, Bad Ems, Baden bei Wien, Carlo Vivari, and many others.
Medieval bathing took place in a modest way, especially in the bathing houses. Around 1600, our spa prospered with about 10 bathing houses, huts, over 300 bathing cabins, and 3,000 baths a year. Depending on the physician and the progress of the research, the medicinal sources were used for many diseases. For example, rheumatic complaints or childlessness of women.
On the contrary, in the 17th century, Margrave Ferdinand Maximilian created the richly stuccoed Prunkbad on the ground floor of the new palace on the Florentine Hill. During the War of the Palatinate Succession between France and the Holy Roman Empire, Baden-Baden was burnt to the ground in 1689. Due to the Palatinate War, the town lost its status as the capital of the Margraves of Baden that it had held since the 12th century.
Almost no medieval buildings survived the fire, but the urban structure still gives testimony. After the destruction, the city was partly rebuilt, but the bathing system almost came to a standstill in the 18th century. We've left the old spa town now and enter the new spa quarter on the west side of the River Ouse. The construction of the Promenade House in 1766 and the creation of the Chestnut Alley was the starting point for the shift of the social life towards the open landscape, and in the same time to Baden-Baden's transformation into a sophisticated spa town. Promenade House at the end of the Chestnut Alley was later integrated into the new Cure House.
In 1775, at the initiative of Margrave Karl Friedrich, a bath commission was set up to increase the attractiveness of the spa town. This commission created a plan for development and use of the surrounding areas of Baden-Baden for spa and recreational purposes. Based on this plan, the first walking paths and viewpoints were laid out in the immediate vicinity of the Kurgarten, as well as benches for resting. In the 1810s and 1820s, the Grand Duchy's Director of Building, Friedrich Weinbrenner, was commissioned to expand and renew the spa district.
From the dawn of the 19th century, the town was systematically transformed into a modern spa quarter. The old city gates and old city walls were demolished, and the town spread farther into the Ouse Valley and the surrounding landscape. The Conversation House, or Cure House, was built in 1821 to 1824, also by Friedrich Weinbrenner, in the then popular neoclassical style, incorporating the Promenade House from the 18th century. This followed the increasing requirements of creating a high standard spa town. Originally, the Cure House incorporated and housed gambling rooms, a library, a ballroom, a restaurant and a theatre.
It was here in the Cure House and Casino that Baden-Baden acquired a worldwide reputation as the supreme example of the gaming spa. The gaming casino, which was in operation from the 1820s to around 1870, provided a major attraction for international guests and became a model for the casino in Monte Carlo.
In the northern wing, the Weinbrenner designed theatre was replaced in 1853 to 1855 by 4 staterooms, so-called Prunksäle. They were designed by the French theatre architect Charles Polycarpe Séchant for the casino leaseholder and French businessman Edouard Benazet. They are decorated in various versions of French Baroque, from Louis XIII to Louis XVI, very much in the taste of the Second French Empire. The Florentine room, also called House of the Thousand Candles, is in the style of Louis XIII. All the original Séchant paintings are in the style of the Florentine Renaissance. The Red Hall is based on a hall in Versailles in the style of Louis XIV, showing the taste of the French Baroque. The Winter Garden owns style elements from the period of Louis XVI, showing 16 Chinese vases and 2 fountains.
The boutiques lining the Chestnut Alley were designed from 1866 to 1867 after Parisian models by German architect Karl Dannfeld. They replaced the earlier wooden boutiques by Friedrich Weinbrenner. Attached to the building's western end is the Konzertmuschel, a band shell which was added under German architect August Strutzer-Nacker.
In 1839 to 1842, the axisymmetrical pump room was built by the German architect Heinrich Hübsch, a student of Friedrich Weinbrenner. The Trinkhalle was supplied with thermal water from Florentine Hill, you see it over there, and from the opposite side of the river Oos. Thermal spring waters were piped from their sources in Florentine Hill under their own head of pressure through a pipeline to the pump room. It was a combination of a pump room and a colonnaded walkway. The axis-symmetrical structure, consisting of a sandstone building with a square pump room and secondary rooms, as well as a rectangular brick-built colonnaded walkway adjoining it to the east. No less than 16 Corinthian columns support the 90-meter-long open hall. 3 flights of stairs access the structure from the center front and the sides.
Internally, it is decorated with 14 frescoes that depict Black Forest legends by German mural painter Jakob Götzenberger. The imposing structure reflects the growing significance of the drinking cure at the beginning of the 19th century.
It was also Edouard Benazet who financed in 1860 a new theatre designed by the Parisian architects Charles Derchy and Charles Couteau. It provided an appropriate setting for outstanding musical events, plays and dance productions of international renowned artists who also used the music pavilion and the premises of the Cure House.
It is a 2-story structure in French neo-Baroque style on a rectangular ground plan without an elevated stage house. The facades are fashioned in light-colored sandstone. The central axis of the main front is emphasized by a balcony surmounted by a pediment.
The interior is laid out as a gallery theatre with proscenium boxes in the late 18th century French tradition. The magnificent Louis XV tile decor has been preserved, including the ceiling by the French theatre painters Charles-Antoine Cambon and Alexis Joseph Mazerolle.
The Staatliche Kunsthalle in Baden Baden is a state-owned art museum. It was built by the Karlsruher architect Hermann Billing on the initiative of painter Robert Engelhorn from 1906 to 1909. The entrance stairs are flanked by personifications of painting and sculpture by Hermann Binz.
The prestigious Museum Frieder Burda is a private museum. It was built in 2004 by the world-famous New York star architect Richard Meyer. The museum is connected to the Staatliche Kunsthalle by a glass walkway, and it is considered as a high-quality development of the cultural tradition of a spa town and an inherent part of the Lichtenthaler Alley. In course of the Enlightenment in the late 18th century, a new understanding of nature occurred along with a changed leisure behavior. Together with thermal water, drinking, inhalation and bathing treatments, physical activity in nature was inherent part of the 19th century cure.
This development is mirrored in the design and organization of the Kurpark and the Lichtenthaler Allee. Johann Michael Zeyer transformed the Lichtenthaler Allee south of the Spa district into a spacious landscape garden from 1839 onwards. The avenue extends along the Oos for 2.5 kilometers from Goetheplatz to the convent of Lichtental, offering a delightful park landscape with more than 20 iron bridges crossing the stream and numerous imposing trees. In the sense of the Enlightenment, the parks and gardens acted as meeting points between social classes.
The fact that Baden-Baden gained international popularity as a spa from the 1830s onwards is evident from the emergence of hotels with foreign names. Among the earliest large hotels lining the bank of the Ouse were the Hotel Stéphanie-les-Bains, the Hotel d'Angleterre, the Hotel de l'Europe and the Hotel de Russie. More hotels were situated in the old centre, among them the prestigious Hotel de Hollande and the Hotel Victoria, named after its most illustrious patron, Queen Victoria. The architecture of the hotels were oriented on the sophisticated hotels of the big European cities.
One of them was the Hotel Stéphanie-les-Bains, built in 1834. As early as 1872, the Brenner family of hoteliers acquired the hotel. At the beginning of the 20th century, after numerous enlargements, the building ensemble overlooking the Ouse was more than 300 meters long in length and provided its international patrons with every conceivable luxury. Today, it is known as Brenner's Park Hotel and Spa.
The Hotel Badischer Hof was originally built in the 17th century as a Capuchin monastery. In 1807, German architect and city planner Friedrich Weinbrenner, known for his mastery of classical style, converted the secularized monastery into a spa hotel for the German publisher, industrial pioneer and politician Friedrich Cotta. Part of the neoclassical facade is still visible on Lange Straße. The building's central feature was a dining hall 3 stories in height, surrounded by colossal columns. We are now entering again the old spa district of Baden-Baden, close to Florentine Hill, talking about the second big phase of the Baden-Baden spa history. As a result of the Franco-German War in 1870-71 and the prohibition of the gaming in Baden-Baden in Germany in 1872, the city had to reinvent itself. And Baden-Baden developed from an international fashion resort into a bath and spa and health resort.
In the last third of the 19th century, modern bathing palaces were created near the thermal springs, replacing the old town quarter. By 1890, the realignment of the city led to the increase in spa guests to about 60,000. The reason was the Friedrichsbad, the most modern bathing palace of its times, which offered extremely advanced therapeutic facilities. The monumental Neo-Renaissance building was constructed from 1869 to 1877 by architect Karl Dänfeld as a spa and society bathhouse. It was constructed on the orders of Grand Duke Friedrich von Baden on the site of the old Roman baths. The Duke's architect, Karl Dänfeld, started preparing for the planning process from 1868. He visited the most important spas and bathing facilities of Europe of the time.
The entire complex, consisting of 3 blocks in a neo-Renaissance style, is set on terraces built into the slope of Florentinerberg. The building was constructed as a spa and society bathhouse of the highest standards, being cited as the world's most cutting-edge balneological institution. Today, the Friedrichsbad is still in use and has been preserved to a very large extent, including the interior fitting. Today, Baden-Baden continues to attract an international public as a spa town. The 20th and 21st century brought various high-quality architectural additions and developments, adding to the character of Baden-Baden as a modern and vivid spa town, by preserving the rich heritage of a 19th century spa town.
Baden-Baden still contains the characteristically different functional quarters representing the particular type of settlement of a 19th century spa town in its entirety. These quarters include the old spa town, the new spa district, the parts of the planned urban expansions, and the 2 main villa quarters to the west and the east of the old town. The Lichtenthaler Allee connects all these quarters with one another.
We hope you have enjoyed our thermal architecture walk through Baden-Baden.
And we look forward to welcoming you very soon in our town.